All right. What's going on, everyone? What is going on? How's it going? How's it going? It is. I feel like it's been. I feel like it's been forever since we were here doing this. It's only been a few days, but it has been a few more days than we're used to between hunts. I had some stuff with work going on that just made it so that I was waking up super early, getting home late. I actually had to go in instead of working from home and do some training, and so I could not stream Tuesday and Wednesday. I was dead freaking tired. Oh my lord, dead tired. You get into the routine of not having to go into work, not having to wake up early, do all that jazz, do the driving. It'll exhaust you. It'll exhaust you for sure. But we are back again, and we need this Tepig. Oh, we need this Tepig. We have been at this for over 3 months now, and it is high time we get this pig. We get this pig to shine. I'm ready for it. I am super ready. And I gotta get I feel like I say this every stream, but unfortunately the last like month has been a little rough on our streams. I have not been able to keep my schedule as I would like. Things have just been always getting in the way. Something's been happening. Something's been preventing me from getting on here as much as I would want to. But I always say I got to get back into the swing of it, get back into the zone. Also, doesn't help that does not help me that right before this stream, right before I had everything set up, I got on TikTok because I was like, oh, I got a few minutes, I'll get on TikTok, and the first thing that comes up is Peyton Manning's NFL retirement speech, and it's like a whole 10-minute long video. TikTok's gonna do 10 minutes now. And I watched the whole thing, and it's like it chokes you up. It's a good speech. He's getting all choked up the entire time. You know, Peyton Manning's a legend. Surprisingly, growing up in our household, we were Peyton Manning fans. We're kind of cult fans. I say that's interesting because we are diehard Georgia Bulldog fans, and Peyton Manning played at Tennessee. So why my parents were so big on Peyton Manning, despite him playing for a rival team, I'll never know. But they really liked Peyton Manning. So we enjoyed watching some Colts football growing up when he was quarterback. Oh, what up, what up? Yeah, I saw the name at first. I was like, oh, new viewer, but Splab, now Gonfly. What is going on? How's it going? Been a minute. How's everything going for you? So yeah, watched that retirement speech for Peyton Manning, and it got me a little in my feels, got a little choked up. I was like, oh man, I probably should have watched something like hype and exciting before stream, not something that's going to get me emotional in retrospective. But I'll get back to it real quick. Like, didn't work. Okay, yeah, no worries at all. No worries whatsoever. What were you hunting for again? I do not recall. Were you one of the people who were doing an Oshawott or Snivy kind of alongside me? There were few people in chat. Okay, you were Snivy. I got you. Okay, gotcha. You're at about 3.5k. Yeah, that's that hunt is starting to build up for you, and you're doing it on a single DS and copy of the game, right? So that is 3.5k resets of one game, correct? That I'm sure that's taken some time to get there, especially given how slow the resets are in Generation 5. Hopefully you get it soon, though. Hopefully you have a bit better. Oh, okay, yeah, you're doing Soul Silver on the side. Gotcha. Where are we with Soul Silver? It hasn't been that long since we've only done Soul Silver twice on stream. We're at 700, or not 700, you're at 7. We're at 800 resets. I just checked on my I keep all count of my resets for all the hunts that we're doing, like what total we're on. I can never get this one off the freaking desk. It's like it's almost super glued to the desk. I keep them all on energy cards just sitting on my desk. So this is our, Tepig Hunt. Every time we pass a number, I scratch it off. So 6,500 was on there for today. Then the Soul Silver one, much less going on. We've only done 2, so we're sitting at 800. And then Magikarp has a couple numbers on it for what we got going on there. So This has been that is how I keep track of our encounters and resets and the like for what we got going on. And I am running out of room on my lightning energy card for the Tepigs, so we got to get this. I don't know. I can probably push that card until like 9,000 resets. I think I got enough space on there for that, but if we don't get it by then, we are going to run out of space. I'm going to have to move to a new card. My dogs do not know what to do. They're just sitting here like, what is going on? Where is mom? What do we do? I'm confused. They're both just, Ryder, why are you staring at the back corner of the room? What are you doing, buddy? And Leo's just sitting here staring. He's got his head down. He's just staring up at me like, what are you doing? Why are you not paying us all attention? I love dachshunds. Spend all day with them, work from home, spend all day with them. Basically have to spend my entire day balancing work with playing with them, entertaining them, and they're still not satisfied by the end of the day. They're still like, man, you're doing something other than playing with us or laying down with us? What is up with this? The betrayal. The absolute betrayal. Okay. Certainly not these two. My parents' dog is, I mean, he's much older. He's what, 12, I think? And Ryder, my oldest one, is 4. But even when my parents' dog's name is Gavin, and even when Gavin was really young, he wasn't like super demanding of attention. Like Gavin was always very like, he was very independent, very much cool with just laying around, chilling with himself. You know, he liked attention, but he was not nearly as clingy as these two. Oh my lord, I can't do a thing without these two up my butt. Like, man, they got to be in the same room as me at all times. They got to have my attention 75% of the day. Like, they are the... And now Ryder, I don't know why Ryder has to... He is like he's in the back corner of my room underneath my ring light. My ring light is just shaking around because he can't get comfortable, and he's probably all caught up in cords and stuff back there, as he does. I tell him all the time, Ryder, are you stuck? Are you stuck? He's gonna end up knocking something over. I mean, I need to just do a better job of managing my cables and stuff on the ground, but I tell him all the time not to get in it because he's going to get stuck. He's going to trip over on something. He still does it. Does not listen. And now I think he's stuck under my ring light. This is like, I have a ring light back here. I got something in my eye now. Jeez. Oh, it's not getting any better. Come on, what? It's like I went to scratch my eye and I think I made it worse. I think I knocked something into there. I have a ring light in the back corner of my room that's kind of up and pointed down for the lighting, and then I have a little desk kind of stand thing for my laptop. The laptop sits on top of, so like my main desk, and there's this little stand thing off to the side that's right in front of the ring light, and I think he's stuck in between the like legs of the stand and the ring light, and he's like, Dad, help, I don't know how to get out. Are you just sitting there because you want to, or do you actually need my help getting out? Are you good? I don't know, he might be okay. He might just be chilling there. But if my ring light goes tumbling down, we know the culprit. All right, let us see. Come on, little Tepig. I'm damn ready for this thing to shine. I gotta say, I am ready. I don't know what to do with myself. I've never been this deep into a hunt. I don't know how to react. I don't know how to feel. This is by far the longest hunt I've ever done. And we're not even that long in. Like 6,000 encounters, not that bad. But I'm just ready. I need to scoot you up a tiny bit, maybe. I don't know. I would like to, well, not that I always say I'd like to get a kick capture cards for my DSs, but I don't know why I can't be bothered to like go through with it. I'm just like, well, we got what we got. We're good. It's fine. Also, I forgot I can totally just put my water over there. I don't need to put it on this other. Yeah, it's I personally need the stream interaction. I need to be doing this on stream with people in the chat for me to well, I could probably do this on my own without being on stream with a chat, but you know, I would obviously have to have some kind of media playing in the background, something else to distract me while I'm resetting that. And I definitely would not be able to keep track of my resets in that case. Like, if I was doing this off stream, I would have to be like watching a movie or just doing something really casually around the resetting and just barely paying attention to the actual game, and certainly not paying attention to the number of resets I'm doing. Ryder, what are you doing, buddy? Come on, get out of there. Come on, Ryder, come on. Are you stuck? Oh, I'm gonna get him unstuck real quick, this little boy. All right. Ryder, come on. You dinglebutt. Come here. The culprit that has been messing with the cords under the light. What do you have to say for yourself? Like, put me down. All right. Oh. Hair in my mouth. As I got a hair in my mouth, I bumped in my microphone. All right, Ryder, do not get up under anything else. Let me get situated and comfortable, please, and thank you. Yeah, 200 to like 250 is really what I am good and like capable of maxing out with. Ryder, what are you doing? He's on one. Sorry, 1 second. Come on. Okay, now he should hopefully be good. He has a blanket to mess around with and try and turn into a bed. He should be okay down there now, hopefully. I need to sit down a tiny little bit. But yeah, 200 to 250 is about the maximum number of resets I can feasibly get out in a night, in a 2.5 3 hour period. That's the best I can really do. Alrighty. And well, I mean, at least for this one, like, it's just this one's just rough with the resets. Soul Silver, oh man, I could churn out some dang encounters on Soul Silver, at least for the starters. That is so by and far the most optimal like starter reset hunt ever. I wish they had done that for all of them, because yeah, you can really churn out some encounters and some resets on Soul Silver. And that one, I guess because of the speed and the pace of it and how many Pokemon you're seeing, how many encounters per like minute, that one just doesn't get boring. I don't know. It's because it's constantly like really going. This one just takes so long. So every reset just takes forever. It's just kind of like, it's a slow burn. Oh yeah, that's very impressive. I could not watch anime with subtitles, and I probably couldn't even soft reset while doing that. I would, yeah, I would find it too hard trying to like look at the Pokemon, make sure it's shiny, then get the reset done. Like, yeah, I could not, definitely not keep count of it too. So yeah, that is quite impressive. I could not be doing that. But what up, DK? How's it going? Today 100% has to be the day. Like it has to finally be the day. We will keep calling it until it is, but today has to be the day. It just has to be. I think we're all ready to do something a little bigger, something a little crazier than just soft resetting for, well, how big and crazy can a shiny hunt get in these games? I mean, it's either soft resetting or it's eggs. I think the only Pokemon we should have to do wild encounter hunt for, or you know, we can choose to do wild encounter hunts for a lot of things. I think the only thing we have to do one for, at least that I know of right now, is Unknown. That's the only Pokemon we have to do wild encounter resets. Wild encounters for, whatever, however you want to say that. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fair. That's a good idea. Like once you get to 500, you just mark down that you're at 500, then you reset again, and then once you get to 500 again, you're like, okay, now I'm at 1,000. Yeah, I can see that. Keep it, kind of trick your brain into feeling a little more comfortable with where you are in terms of the hunt. Getting a shiny Snivy on 36.95. Yeah, I've mentioned it before. I see people online post about, oh my god, I can't believe it. I got XYZ shiny in 1,000 resets or blah blah blah, and I'm just like, must be nice. Can't relate. I'm still going. I mean, shoot, technically, like the other real hunt we have going alongside this, the Soul Silver starter resets, we're at 800 resets, which you multiply that by 3, that's 2,400 encounters we're already on for Soul Silver, and no shiny luck yet. So we're not doing the greatest with our luck. Oh goodness, 22k. I can't do 22k. Oh, I just can't do it. That is entirely too long. That's entirely too long. And it does it at the rate we're going to, like, we have unfortunately slowed down in how quickly we're getting through this Tepig hunt just due to circumstances, and really me. I get some streams, I just get tired and I'm just like, I'm not getting to the target number of resets, but I'm just a little ready to call it a night. Yeah, because we were normally getting through 1,000 resets in 5 streams. I think we're already on the 4th or 5th stream in the 6,000 range, and we're barely over halfway there. So we are, I've been a little lazy, not making great time. I've been a little lazy with how diligent I am with pumping out these resets. $100 is the unlucky you have to be to get it. That sounds unfortunate. That sounds like my luck with Pokemon cards. I never pull the huge big chase like really quickly. It's never happened to me before. I have pulled a big card from a set fairly early on, but I've never pulled the big card from a set early on. In fact, most sets I've never pulled the big card ever. You know, I think every set since Sword and Shield started, which was when I really started opening a lot of stuff, any big I've never pulled any of the big Charizard cards from Sword and Shield up through now. Like any of the big Charizard cards from any of the sets, never pulled them. I pulled in Champion's Path, I did pull the shiny Charizard V. Took me freaking forever to do it, but I finally did it. But it's not technically the biggest Charizard from the set. That would be the Rainbow. Never pulled that one. In Brilliant Stars, there's a couple Charizards. I did pull the Rainbow Charizard V-Star in like 16 packs. Incredibly lucky and early on pull, but I never pulled the Alt Art, which I'm pretty sure is the biggest card in that set. I don't know if I pulled any. I don't think I pulled any Alt Arts from Brilliant Stars actually. So, yeah. And then what other Charizards have existed? None of the big Charizards from Scarlet Violet I pulled. Haven't pulled the Obsidian Flames one. Didn't pull the Paldean Fates one. Now, I can't complain too much. I did pull the Burning Shadows Charizard, which is probably the toughest and craziest modern. It's Sun and Moon era, which is, you know, it's still one of the last 3 generations. Even though Sun and Moon's about almost a decade old now. It's 8 years old. It's still one of the more modern generations, Sun and Moon, and Charizard is by far the biggest. That Rainbow Charizard has got to be one of, if not the biggest cards from the Sun and Moon era, and probably the biggest Charizard from the last 3 generations. And I did manage to pull that one. It was not quick. It was not fast. It took a lot of packs, but I did eventually pull it. Oh, I do not even want to know how much money I've spent opening cards that has resulted in me getting absolutely nothing. Don't want to know. Do not want to know, because it's a lot. It's a lot. Because, like, the majority of the time, even when you do pull like a little bit of something, it's like they're basically bulk. Like the pulls you get most of the time in opening stuff, like V's, GX's, regular EX's, like they're really like bulk pulls. So it's like, oh, I pulled a V, is technically a rarer pull than nothing, but it's a 50-cent card. It's not really anything. So yeah, if I looked at how much I've spent versus how much I quote unquote made off of what I opened, it's nowhere close. It is nowhere close. If you wanna be an economical Pokemon card collecting fan, you can't open packs. You cannot do it. You're gonna lose money 100% of the time. And when you think you've made your money back by hitting a really big card, you're just gonna keep buying more packs and lose more money. But it's fun. I mean, that's really the point of it. It's fun. It is fun to open packs. It's fun to test your luck to pull the big thing. Yeah, I really like, they've had 3 different eras of EXs now. There was the original EX era way back in Ruby Sapphire 20 years ago, and then they brought EXs back, but uppercase EXs for Black and White and X and Y, and then they went away for 2 generations, and now EXs lowercase are back for Scarlet Violet. But I do think the best card of that nature, EXs, level X's, GXs, V's, all that, I think the original EXs are the best ones, like aesthetically speaking, mainly because those old school EXs had the holographic borders, which I think the silver hollow borders, I think they look incredible. It's like, I think this is the best Pokemon card design that's ever existed. Here, do I have one on my desk here that I can show what I'm talking about? Do I have an EX? I have some level X's, which are similar. I mean, they do have the hollow border. I don't think I have any okay, I do have one. I have 2 EXs on my desk. So I'll show this one I'm talking about. The Ruby Sapphire EX era is by far my favorite. Any like rarity like card has looked. Like this Deoxys right here. Here, I'll make my screen, make it a full screen for y'all. So this Deoxys, like these cards from way back in the Ruby Sapphire era, God, they look so good. This one's Japanese. I prefer Japanese over English cards. Man, just look at the card. Oh, it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful. I love the way these cards look. I think they're so peak perfection. Just the best. I think they look so freaking good. And level X's are very similar, and I think level X's are really slept on compared to all the different eras of hits. I guess I might as well keep my camera back up so I can show this one too. So we'll go back once more. Like this Garchomp right here, this level X from the Diamond and this one, this is Platinum. But Diamond, Pearl, Platinum era had the level X's. They're very similar, you know, the silver hollow border, but they don't hit quite the same. The artwork is cool. I like how it's like jumping out of the card. They're still very cool cards. I like them. Like I said, they're very underrated. Like cards like this is Garchomp, it's Cynthia. This is a super cheap card. This card is super cheap. And it's like a major hit from a set that's 15 something years old. Yeah. Those, I think level X's are severely slept on. Oh, I have the Sneasel EX in Japanese. It's away in one of my bins back there. Don't think I have a T-Tar. I don't collect the super highest condition cards. Most of my cards are in lower condition because I care more about just like, I want the card to look aesthetically pleasing on the front when it's in like a top loader. That's all I care about. If the back has some whitening, excuse the frick out of me. If the back has some whitening or scratching or whatever, like I do not care. If it's a good value and I think it looks good in a top loader, good with me. I do not care about pristine condition cards and maximizing the value of my collection. I want cards that look cool and are nice and appealing while not breaking the bank. Not really. Kids suck. I'm assuming you were a younger lad. I mean, you might be a younger lad still. I don't know how old you are, but that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Was it the they did 2 level X Charizards. There was one from the set Supreme Victors. I think it was in Supreme Victors. Yeah. And then there was a promo one. Do you remember which one you had? Okay, yeah, it was the promo. Yeah, I have that one. I have the promo I have it in English, which it was probably just, well, I don't know how it was released in Japanese. But yeah, I have the English promo in my bin of cards back here. I could, if we ever got bored enough one day, I could pull out my big old bin of cards I have behind me. It's I bought it at Michael's, so you know if you're in America and you have Michael's anywhere near you, you might know what the store is. It's kind of like a hobby crafts kind of store, and it's a clear plastic bin that was originally meant for pictures, like physical photographs, and it's like UV resistant, protective. And that's why you're supposed to put printed out, or what do you call those kind of pictures, Polaroids. You're supposed to put those kind of pictures in there because the plastic will protect it from the sun and yada yada. Well, I got it for my Pokemon cards because the sun can also damage cards. And it just so happens that, so inside the big bin, there are little smaller bins. And those little small bins, you can perfectly stack top loaders in 2 stacks in there. And so I have a bunch of my older it's mostly older cards, but there are some newer cards that I think are really cool that are in there as well. And yeah, that's where I keep the bulk of my Pokemon card collection, is in that plastic bin I have behind me. And I have a good number of cards. Actually, I should say actually the bulk of my collection is not in that, because I have cards all over the place. Like I have like you can't really see it, but behind me here underneath the big Dragonite plushie, I have like an ETB empty box and there's some graded cards leaning up against it. Well, behind it, I just have cards stacked up on top of it because I don't know what to do with them. They're just sitting there. In this cubby up here behind the Alakazam pop figure, the luxury ball, and I think that's a Darkrai plushie. In the back there, I just have some graded cards, some random deck box full of promo cards. Like, I have Pokemon cards everywhere hidden throughout this office. Yeah. I got ETBs and shoeboxes full of bulk Pokemon cards over here beneath me that I need to get rid of. I should do that tomorrow, actually. I have the time. I should take those bulk cards to the local card shop and I'm going to donate them. They probably would buy them as bulk. Most card shops do buy bulk, but I have it somewhat sorted out, but not enough to tell them like what I have of what, because like there's different rates for different things. You know, there's your regular like commons and uncommon bulk, there's rare bulk, there's reverse holo bulk, and I do have that all sorted out, but I don't know how much I have of each, and I don't care to count it out or figure it out, so I'm just going to give it to them and be like, have fun, give it to the kids. Which might not be the most financially good mindset, because I could probably get a decent $30 to $40 off the bulk, maybe, depending on their rates. Chuck, what up, what up? How's it going? Thanks for dropping on by with the stream. You got a shiny Dreadnought. Very nice, very nice. That's a pretty good shiny, if I remember correctly. I think Dreadnought has a nice shiny, so thank you for that. Really appreciate the shiny luck coming on through. Because, well, going back to the bulk thing, bulk can very much help out with recouping some of your financial loss from opening cards. Let's see, shiny hunted for shiny hunted for 8 minutes and got it. Wow, that's really lucky. I wish I could say the same for this Tepig. Unfortunately, we've been hunting for about can I press the button, please? I would say probably a good combined 40 hours. We've been going after this Tepig. Maybe more. I really can't. It might actually be more than 40. We streamed this a lot. In fact, it probably is more than 40. It's probably 50 to 60 hours. Yeah, Scarlet and Violet, I mean, those new gen games, they are good for shinies, I'll tell you that. I don't play them, but they're good for shinies. That's from what I've seen, that is for sure. But yeah, one time I took a whole, back in 2020 when I was going absurdly crazy opening cards, like, take a warning from me. And now, right now, Pokemon card craze is not in a point where people are probably going this crazy. Some people might be, but in just the last 6 months of 2020 alone, I probably spent a good $15,000 opening Pokemon cards. Don't do that. It is not a financially good idea. I would not advise it. It was not smart. I don't know what I was smoking, but yeah. Anyways, out of all that bulk that I accumulated from opening all that, I went to a local card shop and I got about $900 in value out of it. So I mean, it's a decent payback. It's barely 1/15 of what I spent, but I got some money back. And it wasn't even all money. I took half of it as cash and the other half I used on getting cards. So I essentially just traded bulk for $400 something in cash and 2 Pokemon cards. So yeah, not good financial decisions. Do not do that. I was lucky to have a good amount in savings to not put myself into debt. Blew through my savings, which was not a good thing, but yeah, don't. That was I was 23, something like that. I had just started working after college. I'd never really been a big spender, and I think I got into Pokemon cards. I started spending a bit of money on them, and I got a little hooked to the rush of opening cards and collecting, and it can be, it's like gambling. You can be addicting, and it's yeah, you gotta be careful with it for sure. I'm glad that I was able to rein myself in, and from 2021 onward, you know, I still collect, I still buy a lot of Pokemon cards, but nowhere near at the level I was going. Ooh, yeah. I don't really have any real feelings about Dreadnought. I played Sword and Shield once. Yeah, you're not wrong. DK or I want to still call you Splab, but Gonfly, or I'll just call you Fly. I just realized your icon is a Flygon, Gonfly, Flygon. I just made that connection. Y'all are not wrong. I think yeah, I think making bad financial decisions is just something you do before your what's it, frontal lobe fully develops at 25 as a guy. So yeah, but definitely I try not to think about it too much. I'm like, if I had just spent my money wisely on cards or sealed product or whatever, I could I could have had a much more impressive collection than what I have. I love my collection as it is. Everything I have has like a sentimental, like personal value to it because of how I obtained it or whatever. But yeah, I definitely could have saved myself a lot of headache by just spending the money on not opening packs and just getting stuff to actually put in the collection. But where's the fun in that? You gotta open some packs here or there. Or else, how can it? It's not a. I mean, it can still be a very much fun hobby without opening packs, but you got to throw in the pack opening every once in a while just to, you know, get that little thrill of the chase in you. Well, that's a good sign, because what, Dreadnought gets Swift Swim, so. You gotta, you know, is the sign from the in-game universe. It's raining, you got a Dreadnought. But yeah, I mainly just wish back then I hadn't spent through the majority of my savings. Like, I didn't go through all of it. Like, I stopped at just enough point to have, like, I guess you would say a month's paycheck worth in savings, so like not the most ever. You know, if I had, say, lost my job back then, I would have had about a month's worth of money after my final paycheck in savings. So like, could have been worse, but yeah, it was. I wish I had not done that and kept more of that savings around, because it definitely could have been very useful for me to have. And yeah, I could have bought a house, but like, I wasn't, just in 2020, like I was not in the position to buy a house. Like mentally, you know, I was just moved out of my parents, had just really started working full time, just got into a relationship. So like, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to settle down in the area I was in, which I didn't. So like, probably a good thing I didn't buy a house, because I'm not there anymore. But yeah, I was like, because people were some people I was working with were telling me like, oh, you should just buy a home, just buy a house, just do it. And I was like, I don't want a home right now. I don't want to tie myself down to this area. I'm only 23, or maybe I was 24. I don't remember how old I was. Yeah, like a down payment or something. Which even back then, when the housing market wasn't as crazy, yeah, it still wasn't like all the money you would need for a down payment, but probably would go farther than now. But whatever, you live and you learn. I'll buy my own home eventually. We'll get there. Someday, somehow, we'll get there. Yeah, sometimes with life, you gotta make some mistakes and you gotta learn your lesson. Hopefully those mistakes are not too damning for you, but yeah, a lot of times life just happens that way. You gotta roll with the punches and learn as you go. I haven't heard that before, DK, about companies charging you more when you get older. I have not heard that. I certainly hope this Tepig Hunt does not last me until I get a house, because the goal is to try and buy a house at the end of next year, but we'll see if that actually happens. And I surely hope we're not doing this Tepig Hunt for a whole nother year. That would be tragic. I would not enjoy that. Let me go down a little bit more. Bring the mic down a little bit. Rider buddy. You a tiny bit in the way down there. Can't really put my legs where I want to, buddy. God, he is something. He is a little, yeah, he's something. I have not heard, never heard about that. About insurance being higher for older people. Or not insurance, interest rates is what I meant to say. I don't know. I'm trying not to think about housing and the market and all that too much right now, since I'm not actively looking to buy a home anytime soon. So I will figure it out next, like, July, August. Start working on it, start figuring it out, which I really need to be saving more money. I'm trying every month to put a little bit aside that I can, but it can be tough because sometimes life expenses just come up, and right now I got a good amount of medical stuff coming up that is eating into my money, but then also sometimes those impulses just hit and you're just like, hey, I need to buy a new microphone and mic arm. Do I need it? No. Do I want it? Yes. And you also sometimes buy a capture card, even though you're not planning on using a capture card for anything anytime soon. I mean, like a Switch, Xbox, PlayStation capture card. Not something that'll work for the Nintendo DS. Yeah, but here's the thing, DK. I'm a procrastinator through and through. Been a procrastinator my whole life, and I've tried dearly for years to stop being a procrastinator, but it is unfortunately embedded into my soul. I can't plan. I cannot plan ahead to save my life. Oh man, it's just like something about the thrill of waiting till the last minute to figure something out. That's when I work the best. When I'm under pressure and pulling my hair out, then I'm like, okay, I got to do this now. It's like I'm joking, but I'm not joking. it really just depends. Sometimes I'll plan ahead and start working on things if I'm like really like this. I'll plan ahead for shiny hunting. I've been doing that while I probably haven't been planning ahead as much. Haven't been planning ahead as much as I should be, but I've surprisingly been planning ahead a good bit for this whole shiny living dex thing. So I'm not doing that bad when it comes to this. I think it really just depends on how much I actually enjoy the thing it is I'm trying to plan ahead for. If it's a non-enjoyable thing I'm not really interested in, really have a hard time planning ahead. If it's something like that really intrigues me and is really fun, I'll invest in planning ahead on that. Yeah, it's a tough thing to figure out for sure. Part of me, like, I don't know what I would be doing if I didn't go to college. Like, it was kind of embedded, it was ingrained in me my entire life growing up. Like, I had to go to college, you know, that was what every adult and my parents, it was just like, okay, you gotta get your grades so you can go to college. Like, not going to college wasn't really an option. And like, you know, as everyone told me I should be an engineer, so that's what I went to college to be, an engineer. And you know, it's pretty hard to be an engineer without going to college nowadays. So like I said, I don't know what I would be doing if I didn't go to college, but part of me does think like maybe I would have, I don't know. It's tough to say. Like, my college experience wasn't the best. The last bit of college was very rough for me in terms of school and personal stuff. I can see why a lot of people really enjoy college. You know, if you are really able to live it up, I can see it being a great time, but I was not personally able to do that. So I don't know. And then also it's like, being an actual engineer, am I in love with the job like people led me on to think I'd be perfect for? Not really. Like, it pays the bills and, you know, it does, you know, it does good for me, but am I super happy and satisfied with my work? No. I'm pretty mad on it right now. I don't hate it at the moment. You know, I'm very just kind of mellow with it. Like, it is what it is. But yeah, saying whether to go to college or not go to college is, I mean, it really all depends on what you want to do. If you want to do something that is like genuinely worth going to college for, then do it. But if you're not really sure of what you want to do, then I don't know if I would probably more just try working different jobs until you figure out what it is you want to do. I don't know. It is tough because, like, at the same time, you need to be able to support yourself, and it's like, I don't know. I don't think anyone has a good answer, to be honest. I don't think there is a good answer. I think unfortunately everyone just has to live life and figure it out and find out. Like, it's really figuring out what works for you. And that is the hardest thing in the world to figure out. It seems what does work for me. Yeah, I get that. I get that, wanting to be the first in your family to go to college. I get that. I wasn't the first. My dad went to college. And his dad also went to college. In terms of my mom's side of the family, I was the first person to go to a full 4-year college. My mom went to, she went to technical school. She got an associate's degree, but out of everyone on my mom's side of the family, I was the first person to go to like a full-fledged 4-year university. which they just loved because my mom's entire side of the family are massive University of Georgia fans, and I went to University of Georgia, so they just loved me going to school there because it gave them a more of a connection to the school to be a fan. So, you know, my grandparents were super amped about it, especially my grandfather, massive. He's passed away since then, but you know, he was super excited for me to go to Georgia. He was a lifelong fan, so I can get that, you know, wanting to be the first in your family to get a degree. Yeah, I mean, if you enjoy food and working in that industry, there's always, I mean, there's culinary school. It's not really the same as college, you know, like a 4-year degree college, but yeah, you can always go to culinary school, become a professional chef. Or, I mean, there's other ways to be like really successful in food too. You don't have to be a cook. I'm basing all of this off of watching the show The Bear. So I could be wrong, but in the newer seasons, Cousin makes his job look the show makes what does Cousin do? What's his, he's like front of house kind of, and you know, I don't want to spoil anything if anyone's watching it, or but anyways, Cousin Cousin makes being front of house look kind of I don't know, fun and exciting. If anyone's watched that show and has any idea what I'm talking about. I gotcha, DK. I gotcha. Yeah, when I think about myself, I kind of think I would enjoy being in a job that has me physically hands-on doing something more. Even if it's not like I'm not talking like not necessarily like physical labor, but something like being an electrician, honestly, sounds like something that's really up my alley. Like that really does sound like something I would enjoy doing. A more physical labor of like with technical skill. But then I also know working in the trades can be like really difficult, and unless you like run your own business, it can be hard to like really progress and, you know, make more money as you can go. Like you'll start off really well, but then like at a certain point, if you don't just own the business, run the business, it's kind of like, I think from what I've heard at least, the pay kind of flattens out and it gets a little tough to kind of build up as you go. But then, like I said, everyone growing up, I was good at math, I was good at science, and I liked building things with, you know, Legos and stuff. So everyone was like, "Oh, you should be an engineer. Oh, you'd be a great engineer." And I was just like, I don't know what an engineer does, but you say I'd be good at it, so okay, I guess we'll go with that. And yeah, it's fine work. Like I said, I'd probably, even if I was doing, I think I would really rather be a CAD drafter than an engineer, because like as an engineer, I work alongside CAD drafters. I've used CAD software. I think it's incredibly fun. If you don't know what CAD is, computer aided design. Is that what it stands for? It's basically 3D modeling software in a way, but like engineering related. I don't know how to explain it well. I don't know how to explain it super well in technical detail. But I took classes in high school that revolved around that, making stuff in AutoCAD or SolidWorks or the like. Well, I mean, technically, I am a design, like, not technically, I am a design engineer. Like, that is what I do for my job. I'm a design engineer, but like, that's not the same thing as being the CAD drafter. You know, as a design engineer, I'm doing the math for the design, and I'm like, sure, I haven't really done a whole lot of that in my career. I'm still, you know, getting my feet under me and doing everything, but you know, I do a lot of putting together the technical documentation, you know, the Word documents, the Excel sheets, the calculations. I do a lot of that, which I don't really enjoy. It feels like doing homework, to be honest. Like my job feels like I just constantly have math homework due or science projects due. It's fun in a vacuum, but like doing it for a job that's like dependent on something getting done, it can be a little bit like just a lot of pressure and not a lot of reward, for me at least. And I think I would honestly just prefer being the CAD designer who's like, okay, this is what we're working on, we need it to be, and then like modeling it out for the like schematic diagram. That's what I really enjoyed in college, or not in college, in high school when I took all those CAD drafting classes. I really enjoyed sitting there and like on the computer creating a model of something using the software. But like, I didn't know any better, and like I thought that was engineering in high school because no one really ever told me any different. And so like I thought that's what engineering was, doing the CAD work. But like I do CAD work a little bit here and there for my job, like small stuff. But like if we have really big major CAD work that needs to be done, that is not for me to do as the engineer. That is for our CAD designers, our, you know, yeah, CAD drafters, because they're the ones who have the, you know, expertise and the real gritty knowledge of doing CAD. And so they're able to do it a lot more quickly and effectively and efficiently. Sorry, I've been a little bit in my own rant right now. I haven't been reading chat as much as I normally am. But no, it's like it's like I certainly could become a CAD drafter. I think I would have to go to like a technical school or something to, you know, get more qualified in CAD drafting. But the thing, like, it's technically kind of a step down in, you know, like my pay. I believe like if you're a senior CAD drafter, you do pretty well for yourself. But like as an engineer, like I think I get paid more. I don't know for certain. I've never discussed salaries with our CAD drafters. I don't know for certain, but I believe, you know, in the terms of like work, I don't want to say hierarchy, but like it would not be a step up in like pay or like anything like that. It'd be going down. And while that's not necessarily a bad thing, it is hard to justify taking a pay decrease to do something, because obviously you get used to a certain amount of money that you have, and it can be a little tough to mentally, you know, tell yourself, okay, we're going to be making less money now moving forward. Yeah, you might be happier, but like, and happiness is honestly more important. But unfortunately, money does run the world, so it becomes a little tough to, yeah. This is a very deep and serious topic and conversation we're having while resetting for a differently colored cartoon pig. But yeah, it's yeah. I would say I would probably enjoy being a photo editor or video editor more than I mean, early on in college, I was considering changing my major to graphic design because I love working in Photoshop. I'm using GIMP now, but I enjoy working in Photoshop. I really enjoy making my thumbnails for these videos. That's like my creative outlet that I really enjoy doing. I would like to get more into video editing for the channel. I just don't really have the time. But like, part of me now, granted, right now it is, you know, it's just a hobby. It's something I'm doing for fun. You do anything for work, maybe you feel differently about it, but Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's certainly like if your job is just so taxing and destroying you so much mentally, like take a lower paying job. If it's going to save your sanity, definitely take a lower paying job. J-Bomb, no worries, J-Bomb, no worries, no worries. Thank you for dropping by on the stream. I really appreciate it. When you say 2 instances, I believe you're referring to like an emulator or something. We are actually using physical hardware. These are 2 DSs I have on my desk at the moment. I just have a little overlay on top of everything. But good to hear that I'm pressing the buttons so precisely. It seems like both games are running in sync. Glad to know I am so precise with my button mashing at the moment. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And yeah, welcome again. Welcome. I just realized we are about to hit 6,600 and this freaking Tepig is still not shining. Still not shining. Oh man. Do I want to make a call? Do I want to make a call today? Or are we just... Maybe I'll let y'all do it. Are there any encounter numbers you feel confident that we'll get a Shiny Tepig on? I think today I might refrain from making a call. I think I'm just going to let it flow. If y'all have anything you want to throw out, I'll take it. But I will not make a call myself today. So we've been doing this a little over 3 months now. Started at the beginning of July. Oh, I am good to keep going. It is the end of my work week. I do not have work tomorrow. I have all the time in the world right now to stream tonight. So in theory, I could go and for 3 more hours. In an hour and a half, 2 hours, will I be feeling that? Probably not. We'll see. But as of right now, I'm good to keep going. I am chill. Well, okay, so a little disclaimer, all 43 of these shinies for the Shiny Living Dex have been caught in Pokemon Platinum using the Cute Charm glitch. I went into this thinking I would just do straight up reset or encounter hunts for everything. And then we got about 2,000 encounters into this hunt, and I was like, this is going to take freaking forever. I don't want the next 30 years of my life being spent trying to catch 650 shinies. So if there's any legitimate methods I could use to lower the shiny odds, then I'm going to do it. So I looked into it. Since the Cute Charm glitch is not hacking, you know, it's just a glitch that is a part of the game that you can activate without hacking. I was like, you know what? That's good with me. We'll start using that to take out some of the, I don't want to say some of the lesser Pokemon. I don't want to say that about any Pokemon, but there are certainly Pokemon that, like Raticate. Do I want to dedicate 4 months of my life to hunting for a shiny Rattata or Raticate? Honestly, no. No, I don't. So, if I can get it in Platinum with the Cute Charm glitch in about 5 minutes, I'll do that. Oh, we got a double female encounter. The rarest thing we've ever gotten with this Tepig hunt is 2 females at the same time. Unfortunately, neither of them were shiny. DK, you might have been here a little bit later. Did I even mention this? I might have mentioned in the beginning of the stream. Emily's not here right now, so it is just me and the dogs in the household. So I really do have all the time in the world right now. I got nowhere to be, no one to attend to. I got 2 little dogs I might have to take outside at some point, but I'm just chilling here on my own. at the moment. And I'll be on my own for the rest of the weekend. Emily went out of town to go be with her family. She went to go see her family back home. And then she's going to go a little bit elsewhere. I think she's going up into North Carolina to see her cousin. Yeah, I appreciate that, Jay. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Someone... Oh. Actually, there was one time, I think we managed to get 3... It was six females, so 3 resets. I believe a couple streams ago we did... It was 2 females back to back to back. It got to the point where I was sitting here like, did I break the game? Am I getting the same RNG seed every time? How did I get 6 females in a row? I had something in the corner of my mouth there. It was interesting. Very funny, very funny. Also, I just looked into my camera and saw this. I hope Kevin drops on by. He might not be able to. I believe Kevin said he was in Wales, so it's pretty late over there for them. Kevin might be asleep, but Kevin does like to ask me about opening Pokemon cards, and I did actually buy this box of Pokemon cards that's chilling back here in front of Dragonite. Just in case Kevin stopped by and asked, I have this Shaman V-Star collection box chilling in the background for us to open. I mean, technically we could open it without Kevin, but I would feel bad. So it will just be sitting there tempting us if I can get my hand under it properly. The Shaman V-Star box will just be sitting there tempting us until Kevin makes another appearance. Hopefully we can pull something crazy out of that box, because that is all Sword and Shield packs. So no Scarlet and Violet era stuff, which... Scarlet and Violet era has great pulls, don't be wrong, but the big pulls of Sword and Shield are much rarer and much bigger than Scarlet Violet. You know, the big alt arts are pretty crazy to pull from Sword and Shield era, so you don't really see these on the shelves anymore. It's mostly all Scarlet Violet stuff. Maybe some product here or there that has half Scarlet Violet, half Sword and Shield, but you don't really see a lot of stuff that has exclusively Sword and Shield packs in it on the shelf anymore. I feel like I was just shaking my entire desk, pressing the buttons for this for these resets. And I say that because it looked like my face cam was bouncing up and down from me pressing the buttons so rapidly. Gotta be, I don't know, gotta be like super gentle and careful with it, but I don't want the camera just going crazy because I'm just over here smashing buttons, shaking my desk. That's the one thing I've considered with my camera. It is technically a like monitor mounted camera, but because it's on the monitor on the desk, and if the desk shakes, the camera shakes. I thought about somehow trying to like mount it on the wall behind me so that it's like really solid and doesn't move. I don't really need to do that, but like I like creating weird little projects for myself to do. Playing one of the original games, didn't get a graphic crash. I saw a TikTok recently. This guy was God, what was it? He said he was going to make a full-fledged YouTube video out of it, but he hasn't popped back up on my For You page since. He was talking about like playing Pokemon Platinum and wanting to know like how many different ways can you play through the game, as in like how many literal options of RNG are there in a Pokemon game. So like, I don't know how to explain it very well, but like any slight variation of how a Pokemon game could work he basically ran a simulator that would simulate all of it. Literally every single possible executable action in a playthrough of Pokemon Platinum, he ran it. Is some like insane number of possibilities. And he mentioned in the video that the like longest amount of steps one of the iterations went through without running into a wild Pokemon was some crazy number. It was insanely high. I don't remember it exactly, but it was like an insane amount of steps that it went without ever running into a wild Pokemon. Which I don't know anything about anything when it comes to running. I don't know how you possibly run a simulation that can do that. Like, I don't know computers in that regard. I don't know computer science, software engineering to know how you, I don't know. It boggles my mind. How do you do that? How do you run a computer simulation that can execute all that? And one, how does it not kill your computer? Like, how you have to have a damn near supercomputer, I feel like, to run that and your computer not fry itself. But again, what do I know? What do I know? Maybe it can be done with a more modest computer and I'm just ignorant to it. Oh. Oh, my DS on the right is dying. I need to replace the charger from... Of course, I had everything perfectly ready for this stream, except for my DS's being charged. I realized at the last second that I had not charged my DS's, so one of them has been charging the entire time, and now the other one is dying, so I got to put it on the charger in its place. I have enough. I think we're good to put you back in place like this. I think that's good, right? Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, we are good to go. I think it would be, yeah, I don't know all the technical specifics of what he ran, what he did. Yeah, I don't know at all. I can only assume with Pokemon games, like, there can only be a certain level of like randomization it can go to of RNG. Like, there's no way the game is truly infinite, and like, there has to be a limit to how many different things the game can execute. It's probably an insanely high limit, but there's got to be a stopping point. Like, at least, especially in these older games, maybe in newer games not so much, but I feel like with these older games, like in this little DS game, like, there's no way this game has like infinite RNG possibilities. It has to stop at some point. There has to be a total number of things that can happen in a Pokemon game in different, I don't know how to even explain it well. I'm surprised. I feel like I need to turn on my fan, which is weird because it's been pretty chilly here and I thought it was pretty cold in my house and my room, but I'm kind of feeling like I need to turn that fan on. I'm getting a little warm. Yeah, when it comes to that, the technical aspects of stuff like that and like video games and how they work, that is where my brain just like does not, it does not compute with me. That's not how my brain is wired to understand. I can't even articulate it well. That's how little I'm how, yeah, I'm very much fumbling over my words right now because I just don't know computers and gaming, like, yeah, programming like that. I just know game look good, things seem random. That's what I know. I know I run in grass, I run into different things. Some things good, some things bad. That is what I know. How it's designed on the back end? Cool. Have at it. During college, the only time I got below a C on any class was the class where I had to do programming. We had essentially an engineering programming class, math lab. No, MATLAB. I think there's two different ones. There's math lab and there's MATLAB. I believe what I used in college was MATLAB. I had to use MATLAB in my job before. I believe it's MATLAB. It's kind of like programming. It's like a, it was programming code in a way, but we were doing it to like solve basic engineering problems, but also learn a little bit of like coding skills at the same time. And I was really freaking bad at it. It just did not click with me. Not at all. I was really bad at it. Thankfully, it was not a class. There were some engineering classes that you had to get a C or better in to officially pass and move on. Luckily, that was not one of them, so getting a D was all I needed to keep going. Because when I tell you, there were 3 total exams before the final. The first 2 were kind of like half paper, half programming, so I did not great on those. The last one was full on the computer programming, and there was no partial credit. You either got the right answer or you didn't. And the last 3 questions were dependent on you getting the first question right. If you literally got question 1 wrong, the next, I don't know how a teacher decides to do a test like that. Like, I guess I shouldn't say that. The first question had like 6 subparts to it. And maybe it was 2 to 4 that were like, you had to get 2 right. If you wanted to get 3 right, you want to get 4 right. So I guess you could at least get question 1 with like multiple parts. I got none of them. I got a 0. I got a 0. I got everything wrong. I honestly, he had to have curved up my grade, or at least the grading scale must have been something wild, because how I even got a D in that class, like, I don't know. I really don't. He had to have curved, or the grading scale must have been something. Maybe I did good enough on the homework and other assignments to keep my grade up. I don't remember, but I was bad at that class. I'm bad at that class. Now, granted, the teacher, well, it was weird. A lot of people in the College of Engineering did not like him. He was not a popular professor. He was known for being very difficult. But when I had him for statics, which is like the first big weed out class of engineering, it's like, if you can't get through statics, you probably should change your major. He was the only professor teaching it. So I was worried that statics was going to go really poorly for me, but I actually did really good in statics, like really good. That class clicked with me. That class, I think I got an A-. Yeah, something about that one really worked. I don't know what it was, but anyways, when I had to take him for this other class, I was like, okay, well, his teaching method was an inverted classroom, where you watch, which in reality, it like kind of works, kind of doesn't, depends on how dedicated you are. But he did an inverted classroom where you had to watch the lecture before class, do some homework problems based on the lecture, and then the actual class itself was kind of like a study hall in a way of him helping or him answering questions you might have had about the homework. And the homework was graded, so I guess I felt enough pressure to like, I always watched the lessons beforehand. I did the homework. I was always pretty confident in my homework though, so I just turned it in, and you could turn in your homework and just leave the class, not sit there through the whole thing. And so I would do that, and it just really worked for me. Like, I just got the material really well. But yeah, when I went into taking him for this other class, I was like, oh, the last class I took with him went really well, even though people don't like him. So this method must work well for me. Going into this one, it'll probably be great. It was not great. I did awful. The flipped classroom method did not work for me when it came to programming. It just, yeah, I couldn't do it. It was not good.
We're failing graphics design class.
Jeez, DK, I would have some serious qualms with the teacher, the school. Like, that's awful. Like, there's got to be some kind of accountability that can be held for that, because that's a major error on the teacher's part that should be justified, like corrected in some way. Yeah, that wasn't really like the typical format. Like, none of my college professors were overly great at teaching, and most of the time, if there was non-mandatory attendance and like the homework was all done online, you didn't have to turn it in person, there were a number of college classes I went to on the first day, on every exam day, and on the final day. 4, maybe 5 times this semester, some of these classes I ever went into, and I just self-taught myself the material because I was like, I get nothing out of these lectures. They're really boring. They're not vibing with me. I can use my time more productively. Well, more productive. Was I productive? No. I worked more. I made myself more money during college by skipping a lot of these classes, so I guess it was productive in that way. I made money. I worked for the school dining hall, worked for a cafe on campus, and there were some classes, like I always worked in between classes. We were never open after class, and we were never open on the weekends. So it was a pretty sweet gig. I always had free weekends and never had to work late nights. But if I had like a 3 or 4 hour window in between classes, that's when I would work during the week. And there were some semesters where it was like, oh, the class I would normally be going to after my work schedule, I'm not going to it because I don't see any point. So I'll just work for an extra hour and a half. Make myself $10 more. Because I was making basically minimum wage. But I didn't mind it. Well, at first I didn't really like my job with the cafe on campus, but after like a semester or so, I got used to it and was it was good. Which we had an interesting dynamic with all the people I worked with. Normally, we had a manager. Her name was Bambi. Bambi, like the movie, the deer. Sweetest lady ever. She was like my mother away from home. The sweetest, kindest lady. Love Bambi. Bambi, shout out to you. She was great. And after like 2 or 3 years of working there, me and this like group of 4 or 5, how many of us were there? Was it more than? There might have been 5, 6 of us that we all worked there for like 3 years, 3+ years. And she said it was super untypical for her to, because she'd been managing that cafe for years. And she said it was incredibly atypical for her to have such a solid group of like students stay for so long to keep working there. And I mean, we all got along really well. We all became really good friends. Yeah, it wasn't until like later in my junior, well, I guess I started my sophomore year, so it would have been later in my senior year where some of them started either graduating or decided to leave for a different job. By the end, it was just me. All the other 5 had either graduated or decided to go do something else. So I was the only one still working there right up until I graduated. But yeah, it was a good job there for the last few years of college. I enjoyed working with that group of people I was there with. Unfortunately, not still in contact with any of them. You know, as it goes, we were kind of like really work friends. We did hang out and occasionally outside of work, but yeah, once we kind of went our separate ways, we haven't really kept up with each other since. I majored in mechanical engineering. Oh, nice, DK, nice. One of my best friends, college roommate, he worked at the library, which in hindsight, I should have tried. like I said, I really enjoyed working with the people I worked with at the cafe, but in hindsight, I should have tried to get in with him at his job. He worked at the library as a security guard, like a check-in security guard kind of thing. And he got paid more money than me. I don't know what it was. Well, actually, I think he ended up getting promoted to like a managerial type status, but his job was literally just to sit there and really do nothing. Like he would just sit at the check-in desk and maybe answer some questions for the occasional student that had it. Like he would do a lot of his homework while working, and like I think every hour or two maybe he would have to get up and like walk around the library just to make sure no one was doing anything crazy, which did happen on occasion. There's a semi-decent amount of homeless people in Athens, Georgia, and a lot of them like to hang out at the library, which is perfectly fine. But every so often, a homeless person would be found using the public library computers for NSFW, not safe for work things, and cops would have to be called to remove them. So he would just have to walk around and make sure no one was on the computers watching porn. And other than that, then he would just go sit back down and chill, watch TV shows, do homework, all that jazz. Ooh. Good back pop. Man, that was a solid one right there. I feel like a rush of blood after doing that. Like I popped my back. I can literally feel like blood rushing through my spine. Like there was a blockage and now it's been released, and it's like, feel better now. Ryder's just straight up asleep underneath me. Yeah, unfortunately it does happen that way. I made class friends and, like you said, that work group of friends in college, but no one that I like stuck with after college. Like all my friends that I have now were friends I had in high school that I went to college with or just stayed in touch with through college, and now we're still friends afterwards. Like yeah, I didn't really make any lifelong friends in college. Even some of the people who I went to high school with but didn't really know, but they knew my friends, and I ended up becoming friends with them in college. We haven't stayed in touch since graduating. I mean, people move all over the place. You grow up, and yeah, shit happens. Unfortunately, growing up, shit does happen, and your friend group does dwindle somewhat. If you're an introvert like me, maybe you're an extreme extrovert and you just always have a super large group of friends, but I'm not one of those people. I have about 4 solid friends that I talk to every 3 months. If that. During football off season, me and most of my friends hardly ever interact with each other. And then during football season is when we're more heavily active interacting with each other because of fantasy football, talking about games, stuff like that. During off season, we're just kind of doing our own thing. Football comes around, we're back to chatting more often. We hang out every few months. We get together and do some stuff if we can. Actually, I mean, I'm going to be seeing them this weekend, so I can't. We hang out a fair bit. They're going to come over to watch the Georgia versus Texas football game. Actually, well, I did. 2 of my friends, we all worked, the 3 of us, we all worked at the same company. You know, I'm at a new company now from earlier this year, but the last job I had, we all worked at the same company, back in our hometown where we're from, but we didn't work in the same group. So we never actually really interacted with each other at work, and we were never like sitting anywhere relatively close to each other. So we technically all worked together, but we never interacted through work because we didn't need to. We didn't work on anything similar to each other. Do I have a favorite Pokemon game? I certainly do. It is Pokemon Black and White 2, the one we are playing at the moment. I'm a big Gen 5 fan, specifically Black 2, White 2. But yeah, I no longer work at the same company as them. Which, like I said, we weren't really interacting through work anyways, so not really didn't really feel like a change. It's not like I lost out on my friends at work or anything. I guess I could say I did make one, fairly good. I made a friend through work that I still keep in contact with. We've never hung out with each other outside of work, but we talk, we text a pretty good bit because we're both big college football fans. So really the only kind of friend that I've really, this guy through my last job, right before I left, he started. So he's like fresh out of college, or I guess he's been out of college about a year now. And I was getting tired of the job, so I was just about to leave when he started. And, we're working together, like, and then I said I was going to leave, and I was nice. I gave a month's notice. I did not give. I told them a month ahead of time, like, hey, this is my last month working. And so I effectively trained him to be my replacement for when I left. And then we gelled pretty well. So we've stayed in contact since I left over a year ago. So we've never hung out outside of work, but we chat I'd chat with him a lot more often than my like close-knit group of friends who I hang out with every once in a while. So maybe one day I'll have to see if he wants to hang out or something. Oh DK. But I mean, it is college. There's a lot of that going around, so. Yep. Growing up in the, it's all a learning experience. I think I've gotten more adjusted to it right out of college when, you know, I really started seeing my friends a lot less, and, you know, I had to, getting into work, and like the first 2, maybe 3 years out of college, going to work felt a little tough. Like, I didn't have the greatest college experience. At least I had my friends there with me. College would have been a nightmare without them. So that was really helpful, having, you know, my friends who I ended up living with for 3 years of college. Having them to hang out with very regularly was nice. You know, like I said, if I didn't have them there at college with me, the last few years would have been even rougher, even more rough than they were. So from that sense, graduating from college, the first few years was a little rough because I just wasn't used to like not having people to really hang out with a lot. But you eventually, you adapt, you get used to it. I've become kind of like, I've just become used to not really, I've become used to only hanging out with Emily. Like, Emily and I do everything together, and it's just like, okay, that's cool. I'm good. This is my best friend. We're good. We chill. We do everything together, and we'll occasionally do stuff with friends, but we do a lot with our families, so I guess, you know, there's that. We do a lot of stuff with our families. But I do sometimes find myself like, man, I kind of wish I had my boys to hang out with more often. Sometimes I miss our every other day going to Barbaritos together. We had a house group chat, you know, the 4 of us living together, and the only thing we ever sent in the group chat, hardly ever, was just a text message saying "Barbs?" ? It was kind of like a Chipotle Moe's style restaurant that was in Athens. It was started in Athens, Georgia, and we really liked it. There was one in particular we really, really liked, and yeah, we would just, and it was almost always without fail, just sitting in your room, phone vibrates, you look over, it's the group chat. Barbs? ? We never responded to whoever, like the 3 that did not initiate the text. We wouldn't respond and be like yes or no. We just get up and go out in the living room and just wait until we all congregated there, and we just leave. Good times, good times. We had there was a specific Barbaritos, so most of them were very close to the college campus, so very short drives away from us. But there was one a little bit farther out. You had to get on this kind of like outer loop to go out there. It was a farther drive. So we didn't make the drive out there all the time, but it was by far the best Barbaritos in the whole city of Athens. Like, I don't know what it was. It just always tasted the best. It was always the most consistent. I don't know what they were doing differently, but it was great. And we called it our pilgrimage. So sometimes, instead of just saying Barbs, if we wanted to be specific, someone would say pilgrimage. And we'd know, like, okay, we going out to the good Barbaritos. They were all good, but that one was like exceptionally good. Well, that's great to hear. Is it pronounced Renan? Great to hear that y'all are still keeping in touch. But yeah, my friend group, or, you know, the newest friend from my friend group is, for me at least, we became friends senior year of high school. So like, one one of the guys, we've been in school together since 4th grade, so we just always known each other. We got closer towards the end of high school and into college from, you know, hanging out, living together. But we'd been in school together for a long time. And then one of my really good friends, we've been really close friends since 7th grade. The other one, I got introduced from that friend from 7th grade in like the end of 9th grade going into 10th grade. So most of my friends I've known, shoot, how long has that been? 14 years, something like that. I did. Been a little preoccupied. Leo did just come run in here. He left again. I think I'm gonna go check on him to make sure he's good. I might need to take them outside to go to the bathroom. Ryder's just chilling down here next to me. But yeah, so I'm gonna take my dogs outside real quick. I will be back, hopefully not too long, just a few minutes. So I'll let the beautiful title sequence run for y'all while I'm gone. Come on, Ryder, you wanna go outside? All right, I have returned. Luckily, they were both really good. They both went pee instantly and ran right back inside when I asked them to. Went and grabbed it. I was supposed to start the stream at 8 o'clock. I ended up pushing it back to 9 because I got the itch to go out and about, go shopping, go get some dinner, and I ended up at Best Buy and just happened to come across these cable guides that'll stick to my desk, and then some cable like straps, because I desperately need to try and do some kind of cable management with my computer setup here, because I just got cables everywhere. I need to do something about it. So I got these, and hopefully tomorrow I can get this all situated and we'll have a nice cleaner. I mean, y'all don't see it, it's all back here underneath and behind the camera that y'all can't see, but it'll be nice and pretty for me. It'll be nice because I can stop worrying about my feet. I'm always worried my feet are gonna trip over or like knock down a cable or unplug my microphone and lose my voice. No, why? Goodness gracious. No, why are you two just sitting here staring at me? Hmm? They're just sitting here on the ground staring at me. I mean, I know what it is. They're like, Dad, it is 11 o'clock. It is bedtime. What are we doing? I want to go to sleep. And they're used to being in bed. So they're not happy campers right now. They want me in bed. They're like, we need to go to sleep. Come on. Come here, Ryder. Do you wanna show up too? I know you were on camera earlier, but do you want to be on camera again? Come here. Ryder said, yes, sir. I would like to be picked up. All right. You say hello. Oh, yep. See, big yawn. You tired. You have to say anything to the people? Any words? He said, no, but I smell something. Oh, smell the microphone? Okay. You two chill out. I will attend to y'all in a moment. Y'all get some rest, get some beauty sleep. Oh, excuse me. Ryder certainly would be the type. Ryder would certainly be the type. And he would guard those secrets with his life. Power. What do you mean? One of those power supplies? Not sure what you're talking about there with that. I have looked into and thought about getting one. I think it's called like what, a UPS, Universal Power Supply, something like that, which is really only useful if I'm like making a video or recording something and the power goes out, so I have power for the computer. Obviously, if I'm streaming and the power goes out, it doesn't matter if I have a backup power supply or not. I'm not gonna have internet, so the stream's gonna end no matter what. What was the highest number of attempts it took you to get shiny rare hunting for? Currently this one is, I've not normally been a very high odds shiny hunter, which really I just got back into doing a lot of shiny hunting 3 months ago when I started this. But back in the day, like 10 years ago when I shiny hunted a bunch in X and Y and Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, I always did hunts that were like super quick and easy, like really high odds. So probably the most number of anything I ever had to do was like breeding for maybe a shiny Froakie. I think that took 200-300 eggs, something like that. So I've never done a full-on soft reset hunt like this until now. So whenever we find this Tepig, this will officially be by far the longest hunt I've ever done. I have never attempted shiny hunting like this before. And yeah, I think I've said this before, you know, 4 or 5 months ago, if you had told me that I would be committing myself to this this task, this goal, of completing a black 2 shiny living dex, I'd have been like, you're crazy. There ain't no way I'm ever, there's just no way. I can't do that. That's a lot of time, effort, and energy to try and get all those shinies. And then here we are. I literally decided to do this on a whim. Like, this wasn't some premeditated, like, just well thought out plan. I literally decided one day, you know what? I really like Pokemon Black 2, White 2. Having every shiny in the game would be really cool. I'm gonna start streaming it and make it a whole thing. I think I started the stream 4 days later. I just never had even considered this before and just decided, you know what? Let's run it. Let's do it. Well, I was more asking because I don't know how those help with cable management. I know what a UPS does. I didn't know there was any cable management involved. I guess that was more my confusion. Like, yeah, I know what it is. I wasn't sure how it helps with cable management. Because that part I don't know. That will be super fun. I'm gonna have to do the same thing in order to get a shiny Lugia for this. I have a copy of Soul Silver. We're gonna have to eventually hunt for Lugia on, so that'll be an experience for sure. I feel you there. Yeah, I saw that. That's the first time ever Shiny Meloetta has been available, right? Like, I think Shiny Meloetta was one of those shinies that had never been released until now. So, oh shoot, smacked the crap out of my desk. Does not help me with this one bit. Still can't get a Shiny Meloetta in this game, but at least not a legitimate one. We will get one of some kind. That's just crazy. Like, well, Victini is still shiny locked, I believe. And I feel like it's just Gen 5 Pokemon. Like, Meloetta, Victini. Is Keldeo shiny locked? No, I don't think Keldeo is. I think they've released shiny Keldeo before. I'm pretty sure they released shiny Genesect. Was it just Victini and Meloetta? Was there any other Generation 5 like mythical or shinies that they hadn't released yet? Yeah, I'm planning on doing that for Reshiram, Zekrom, and Victini, because you can encounter them in the game. They're just shiny locked. They'll never be shiny. But using an action replay, you can remove the shiny lock and then hunt them. So I'm planning on doing that. I got the action replay hanging out right here. So whenever we want to hunt for those three, I just got to figure out the shiny lock removal code and we can get to hunting on those. And then same goes for any of the Generation 3 event exclusive Pokemon like Deoxys, Mew. I guess not really. Jirachi is event, like kind of a, exclusive, not, in game, but you can't shiny hunt it. Is it just Deoxys and Mew? Anyways, I have a Game Shark for Game Boy Advance games. So I'm going to use this so we can get to like, Deoxys for shiny hunting, so we can get the Mew for shiny hunting. And then I did see something on Twitter recently. I think the YouTuber I'm a Blissey created something so that you could shiny hunt Jirachi in Generation 3. I have to look into it more, but I saw a tweet about someone saying using I'm a Blissey's like e-reader or something, they were able to hunt for a shiny Jirachi in Generation 3. So I'm gonna have to look into that, because if that is in fact a thing that he made possible, I'll do that for hunting Jirachi, because there's no other way to do it. Yeah, I'm a Blissey knows a lot about the games and how they work and how to make stuff like that happen. So I think it's like you have an e-reader, obviously, if you know what an e-reader is for the Generation 3 games. You plug your game into it. I think you print out a literal card, like he created an actual event card that you can swipe through the e-reader, and somehow it triggers something in the game to give you a Jirachi, I guess? I really don't know how it works, but he managed to make it happen some way, somehow. But Emily's calling me real quick, so I'm gonna go on mute and I'll be right back. All right, I have returned. Emily wanted to call me and tell me she's going to bed. I wanted to say goodnight, and she wanted to say goodnight to the dogs, but Leo was not present to hear, so only Ryder heard the goodnight message. That's what Leo gets for not being glued to my side, which he normally is. I think when he sleeps, though, he just would rather not sleep in here on my floor. Ryder's cool sleeping on the floor by my feet, but Leo's like, I'm gonna lay on the couch. I like the pillows up here. They're really cushiony. They're really comfy. Ryder's like, how dare you try and do anything away from me? I will be up your ass at all times. Ryder's an interesting one. Ryder likes to act like also 6,600 66 encounters. Did not result in a shiny. Quite unfortunate. Ryder is a very he puts on a big show, or he acts like he's not, you know, like he's above being clingy and like needy. Like he likes to act a little standoffish, like almost like a teenager, like I'm too good for you, mom and dad. But then like in other ways he's just, you know, he's so clingy. Like he's like, actually I do love you, and don't tell anyone I said that, but can I stay by you forever and ever and always, and you never leave me? It's like, okay, bud, okay. He is certainly, they are certainly characters for sure. Which line? You know, hearing this song reminded me of something, but I don't think I'm going to bring it up because I don't want to jinx it. So I'm just not going to say anything. I understand that to you, the viewer, you're like, well, why the frick are you bringing it up? Because now I just want to know what you're thinking about. Sorry. I'm streaming right now, so everything I'm thinking is coming out loud. So I guess not technically because I was thinking it, but I didn't say it out loud because I was like, well, I don't want to jinx myself. Oh, I don't know that one. For some reason, I read that in like a Cartman voice from South Park. Like, stop it, mom. No one understands me. That's how I heard it in my head, which that was probably not a very good Cartman impression at all. But for some reason, reading that, that's what I got. Man, I haven't watched South Park in a long time. Like, it has been a while since I watched South Park. Which really, I mean, when I never really voluntarily watched South Park on my own, it was never something I was super into. Some of my friends, you know, growing up really liked it and loved to watch it, you know, in secrecy, away from their parents. Be like, oh, y'all want to watch South Park? Mom's not around. We can listen to them cuss and say balls. Middle school kids. It was, I mean, it was always funny and like whatever, but I never went out of my way to watch it like on my own. I was just like, okay, yeah, this is a fun little show. Fun little cartoon. Same with stuff like Family Guy. You know, maybe catch it occasionally on TV, but never went out of my way to watch it. Yeah, you talking about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle? That, or are you talking about William and Kate? The fact that I know their names is like, why do I know the royal family, the British royal families, princes and their wives' names? I don't know, but I do. Trying to get a little bit lower, trying to lean back in my chair. To the burner. I don't think I know Bubble Guppies. I don't think I know that one. Are there any guilty pleasure? Like, I think for me it was Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. My little sister really liked watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse when she was young, and Yeah, I'm 4 years older than my sister, but yeah, I think I enjoyed watching that with her. Is there anything else that I enjoy? I mean, yeah, doesn't ring a bell. I don't know. Bubble Guppies. I'll look it up. Maybe seeing something about it would remind me, but the name does not. Oh. Yeah, no, this is... I've never watched this ever. No, yeah, no. Bubble Guppies is a no for me. Never, yeah, that's... Maybe that's past my time watching Nickelodeon? I don't know. That's... Yeah, never seen that before. Are there any other, like, really young kind of shows that I watched with my sister? Guilty pleasure? Nothing I can, like, think of off the top of my head. Oh, goodness, got a yawn. Ooh. Yeah, no, nothing I can think of. I might have occasionally watched, like, The Wiggles with her or something. I wasn't really, like, super into it, though, but I think I would just watch it because she had it on. They did have some catchy songs, though. Like, fruit salad, yummy, yummy. You know, they had some good songs. Speaking of, just randomly, speaking of things that my, you know, little sister was into growing up and music related, my little sister was a huge One Direction fan back in the day. That one dude from One Direction, Liam, passed away yesterday. That was wild. Emily read that off to me and said that, and I was like, Emily has occasionally fallen for fake Buffalo Bills headlines, like players getting traded and this, that, the other, on Twitter. She was like, "Oh my god, did you hear we released or we got so and so?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then I go and look at it, and I was like, "Babe, this is not real." And she's like, "Oh." So she said Liam had died, and I was like, "Where are you reading that?" Nah, people claim celebrities die all the time. I'm sure it's fake. She's like, "Oh, I'm on Facebook," and I was like, "Facebook? Go Google it and make sure it's a real thing. You can't trust what you see on Facebook." Well, it was real. The guy actually passed away. That's crazy. He was, 31. That's just wild stuff. And like, I gotta admit, in my older age, I've become more accepting and accommodating of things. I'll be honest, sometimes if a One Direction song comes on in my music playlist while I'm driving, walking, whatever, I'll listen to it. They got good music. It's catchy. It's catchy. They got bops. Like, I'm not gonna lie, One Direction they got good music. But yeah. No worries. I kind of want to just call you Flygon. No worries though. Appreciate you stopping on in, as always. Yeah, I'll go until 6,700 encounters. So we only got 22 more encounters on us for the night, and then I'll call it a night once we get there. So we won't be live for too terribly much longer, because it is getting late. I do need to get turned in and get my dogs to bed and everything. So we'll get to 6,700 and we'll be good. But yeah, good night. I feel like that came off really. I feel like that came out really. Yeah, anyways. I don't know where I was going. No, they did not sing Too Late to Apologize. I believe that is The Fray. It's too late to apologize. No, it's not. Is that? No, I don't think that's The Fray. Who sings that? Is it? I know it's not One Direction. Too late to apologize. Unless we're thinking of different songs, that is Timbaland. Or is that... Or are you thinking about the Apologize song from... No. Okay. Yeah, I think you're thinking of Timbaland, which is not One Direction. I don't know why I thought that was The Fray. What song am I thinking of for The Fray? What is FOB? I don't know if I know that one. I'm not the world's biggest musical connoisseur. I'm not super into music. I like listening to it, you know, here or there, but I don't keep up with the latest music. I don't, you know. Nah, I'm like casually into music, you could say. Oh, Fall Out Boy. Okay, I don't think I've ever seen Fall Out Boy referred to as just FOB, but yeah, I like Fall Out Boy music every so often when it comes up. I do enjoy me some what are they, punk rock, is that what you'd call it? I do enjoy that music from time to time when it comes on. Fall Out Boy, Green Day, stuff like that. I find songs or artists and I just kind of like latch onto it, and that's what I mostly listen to. So like I listen to a lot of Post Malone. Like when I do listen to music, it's a lot of Post Malone, Khalid, and yeah, I mean there's other stuff that gets thrown in there too, but those are like the two artists that I listen to a lot specifically. Well, and then I also listen to Harry Styles a good bit too. You know, he was a part of One Direction, but I really like his independent music. Emily and I went to a concert of his about 2 years ago in Chicago. That was pretty good. That was a really good, I mean, that was by far the best concert I've ever been to. I haven't been to a lot of concerts in my life. That was probably the fourth one I've maybe been to. And the first three were country music, and I'm not really a country music person, so I just kind of was there because people took me. That's what I've been to. Lady Antebellum, which I don't even know if they make music anymore. I haven't heard about them in a long time. Went to Sugarland. Is that one of my friends in high school I guess had tickets and asked me to go. My family wanted to go to Lady Antebellum. Was there another concert I've been to outside of those two before Harry Styles? No, no. Technically, Harry Styles, I guess, was the third concert I've ever been to. I've never, like I said, never really been a concert person. And that was a really good show. I, again, saw it in Chicago at the United Center. I think that's where the Bulls play. That's where Harry Styles performed. Again, he put on a really good show. You know, it was a great time. I like his music. The fourth concert I've ever been to was after that. maybe was this last year? I think it was. Emily and I went to a, oh God, what are they called? It's like it's a boy band. There's like 5 of them in the band, and they're older now, but they Big Time Rush. That's what they're called. They had like a TV show, and they like made music a while back when they were you know, younger, and then I think recently maybe have come together and went on like a reunion tour or something. And Emily really wanted to go, and so I went with her, and that one was interesting. I'd never heard any of their music before. It's catchy boy band pop music, you know, very, you know, every girl is beautiful. I want to make what their like big song is like Girlfriend or something. I forget how it goes, but yeah, it was a fun show. They, you know, they put on a good show. The music was, you know, fun. I guess that's the best I could say. It was fun. It was wet. It was outdoors, and we got rained on. It was raining before the show a good bit. And then actually, so it was raining for all the opening act, like before all the opening acts, and then actually stopped raining as soon as they came on. So that was kind of nice. But then in the last like 15, 20 minutes of the show, it just started pouring. And yeah, we were soaked, just drenched by the end of the concert. But it was actually kind of cool, like watching a concert in the rain. Like, I don't know, it was just really neat. So it was a fun time. Wouldn't say it made me a fan of their music, but it was fun. Goodness, I gotta get, well, we're in our last 10 encounters, so me getting comfy is not the biggest concern right now. We just need to get through these encounters and call it a night. Oh yeah, the tickets were like $15. They were really cheap. Like, it was not an expensive concert. It was not Harry Styles. The Harry Styles tickets were like 200 something bucks a person. No, those Big Time Rush tickets were cheap. They were not expensive whatsoever. And then we actually, I don't even, when was that? When did we do that? Because did we have Leo then? I don't know why I don't remember having Leo at that. That must have been early last year, because we didn't get Leo until like beginning of March of last year. So we must have went to that. It wasn't cold. When did we go to that concert? I do not remember. But yeah, it was very cheap, and the hotel we stayed in, Emily was able to, her last job, she's in a new job now. Her last job had her traveling a bunch, staying in hotels. So she had built up, well, and then when I've told this, I lived in Wisconsin with her for 4 months. She was up there for 6 total. She lived in Minnesota for 2, and then the 4 in Wisconsin I was there for. And the entire time she was living up there for those 6 months for her last job, they had her pay for they put her up in a hotel, but they had her pay for the hotel, and like it was all booked through her, but they reimbursed her for it. And so she just built up hella hotel points. And she actually just used up the last of them recently. So we no longer have free hotel stays at certain places when we go out. But yeah, so that concert, all it cost us was like a few, maybe it was like $50 at most for the tickets for both of us, and then like gas and food. Like, it was a pretty cheap concert going experience, so it was fun. It was good. Yeah, I'm just not much of a music person. I've never been. I like listening to it casually, like when I go on walks or when I'm working out. It's a mix between like listening to music or having a YouTube video on in the background when I'm driving. Not watching the video, at least not like actively staring at it. A lot when I do have YouTube on, I tend to try and get videos that are either like stream VODs or, you know, really more background noise than anything, not something actively to be watched. So maybe a podcast highlights or something on YouTube. And yeah, I don't go out of my way to listen to music just in my everyday life and just random situations. I gotta be really doing something and just want like background noise to have music on. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it either. I'm not a fan of crowds, and generally, yeah, I don't enjoy loud noises either, but concerts can be fun when they're put on well. And then when you're at a concert that's outdoors, I mean, it has space to travel, so it's not when you're indoors, it, you know, it carries. It's condensed, it's focused. But when you're at an outdoor concert and it's all traveling around, it's not that bad. All right, we are here on the last two tepigs of the night. Let us see. I'm not going to pull out a coin either. No calls, no coins today. We're just going all natural, and we're going to see, can we get a shiny Tepig here and now? Right at the end, we're going to go with the English copy first. Do we have, I got a little late on that. That's no shiny, but that is a-okay, because on our Japanese copy of Black 2, we have a shiny Tepig. Oh my god, shiny Tepig. Woo! Finally, we did it. Yay! All right, well, that was yeah, that was that. Gabs, what's up? What's up? Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yep. So that was, unfortunately, that is it for us tonight. We made it to 6,700 encounters. We've been going for about 2.5 hours, so it's getting close to midnight for me here. So we will take the L once again for the Tepig and come back. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna stream Pokemon Emerald Sea Glass again, play through that some more. We'll be back with the, well, I might be able to stream hunting for Tepig early on Sunday. We'll see. I might have to push it back a tiny bit into the day on Sunday instead of doing it earlier like normally I've scheduled. We'll see. But we should be back at least once this weekend hunting for Tepig, because we got to make it happen. We got to make this work. I'm tired of not having a shiny Tepig, so I will see y'all tomorrow for Pokemon Emerald Sea Glass, and then see y'all on Sunday for Tepig once again. Yeah. See y'all then.